Hi friends, I hope that everybody's doing well. Aquarius, before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. So how's everybody faring? Looks like you're taking a break to heal from something. For some of you, definitely still reveling in the people coming back, things like that. I was looking at something alluding to the past in the pre-shuffle. And now I'm seeing something about I'm hearing cosmetology very strongly, maybe a specific message for someone. I'm seeing a collaboration coming to fruition. Interesting. I'm getting a couple different words here. Let's see. Like, are you working with someone? Seeing someone with their hair braided loosely here. Yeah, I'm seeing an opportunity presenting itself. For some of you, this is about a relationship. It's like you could have started off working with someone, and now there's a new opportunity to get connected with them maybe more intimately than you had been before. For some of you, it doesn't have to... Okay, so I'm seeing this be a couple different ways. You could have met somebody at work and been working with them, or like you came into contact professionally and you guys were brought together, and now there's an opportunity to get to know them better. For some of you, this could have just been somebody that you were hanging out with. It's like somebody that you happened to meet, and now because of like working well with them, or you recognize that you get along well with someone, there's an opportunity to like maybe take the next step, maybe turn it into an official relationship. For some of you, this can be a proposal, some type of marriage. For some of you, it's just about like maybe even defining a relationship or getting more serious in that way. Feel in your head about something here. Yeah, for some of you, this is about work. I'm seeing like you're either starting a new job, starting a new project, maybe making money in a different way, maybe doing something on the side. You could be teaming up with someone. You could be teaming up with that aspect of yourself. It's like now you want to get more serious when it comes to business, things like that. And because of that, you want to start some new creative venture. For some of you, this is about a new relationship, the opportunity to do that. Some type of impact on your finances, potentially. For some of you, there's a sense of letting go of something to make room for something to take its place, but you know you need to let go of it in order for this other thing to come through for you. This can be a relationship, this can be a person. It's like maybe something got too busy or there were too many people, and so you needed to kind of... I'm hearing the word siphon. What's got you feeling caught up in your head? Seems like you're really thinking about something, maybe to the point of feeling kind of anxious about it. Is it work related? It's like something about a boss or a coworker, or something about your job responsibilities and like working with this person. For some of you, this is touching on like anxiety that you're feeling about starting something new. So, is this the fear that you can't trust yourself or that you can't trust somebody? And I mean, doesn't it always go back to ourselves? Because if you trust yourself, you're not really worried about what other people are doing because you trust that you would catch something if need be. So it feels kind of like you're not trusting yourself with something. As it just said, sometimes we project that outwardly on other people, and like even maybe you can't trust somebody or you don't feel you should. Yet it's not so much of a threat when you trust yourself. Maybe this is something that we're getting into the psychology space of, because it seems like you've had the opportunity to do something and you're not sure if this is something you trust or not. For some of you, you're recognizing that this is not a good situation for you as you see it. You're like, I would be sabotaging my progress or what I've been doing if I take this offer. For others of you, there's a notion of being like, I don't trust this person enough to do this with them, to be involved with them, to have this opportunity with them. So it's like you're just letting it go completely. Let's keep going. That may not be the case for everybody, but for some of you, there's definitely a preoccupation, some type of worry about the Seven of Swords here. It's like somebody being sneaky, somebody betraying you, you not catching on to something, you making a choice that would be betraying yourself, things like that. You're like, where's my desire for this coming from also? Maybe also checking the intention space. It's a karmic test. It's a karmic test. For some of you, this is about somebody that returned that you already knew. You already knew that you did not trust them, but it's like, oh, they showed up again, so. But yeah, it kind of feels like this is all about you here, being in touch with your intuition enough to be like, if I'm feeling like a red flag here, this is something to be paying attention to. If I don't feel trusting, if I feel like something's going on, if I feel unsure, because the thing is too that, yeah, your intuition, this is a test of intuition. When we go into a situation and intuitively you feel one way, but you want it to be something else. So it's like intuitively you may not trust somebody, but like you want to trust them, and then you're like, well, I don't know what to do. But the thing is, you already do know what to do. You already do know how you feel. You just may not want to be feeling that way. And so, and this may not be the case for everybody. I'm just using an example that may be relevant to many of you. This is all about you trusting yourself and you getting on the same page with yourself too, and being like, the only reason I'd be in my head is because something doesn't feel right and I'm not listening to that. So this is about you checking in with yourself. That's the test, friends. I'm seeing it be related to an interpersonal relationship and about the potential for you to be starting something and you questioning that, you questioning this opportunity. Because this isn't something that's starting off with the slate clean. This is something that's starting in a strange place and one that you feel dubious of. Because too, when we get into a place where we're questioning our motives, isn't that sign enough that something's going on that we need to pay attention to as well? This is too a lesson in you recognizing how you want to be treated, what type of relationships you're looking for, what you deserve, what you believe you deserve. Because I'm seeing the desire is to be in a connection with someone where things feel balanced, especially energetically. Let's get a little bit further. Feels like you surrendering part of the ego is also what this test is about too. You're going to be completing something here. We're starting off with the world in the next spread. There are no zodiac signs in the first one. You're completing... Look at this. You are completing something from the past. This is a cycle coming full circle now for you. Mercury retrograde, back at it again. And eclipse season. And Pluto. It's like everything's being dug up. It feels like this is the opportunity for something to come full circle and for it to be completed, for you to get closure on something, for you to take back your power. This can be with someone you had some difficult times with. I don't want to go labeling anyone, but this may have been a relationship that you were in with someone where in the past this person was projecting onto you, this person was ready to kind of win at all costs, things like that. And this is something that you recognize, like, was not healthy for you to be a part of. And it's like, and then here they are popping back up again. What are you going to do about it? It seems too like this may also be a process of you fully recognizing who someone is, because maybe to have Pisces here, like the Neptune energy, especially with this, it's like maybe we also like to look at the wanted and good qualities, so-called, of someone rather than the things that they hide. It's like, you know that you didn't like the way that they treated you, or that things were going on that weren't okay with you, but it's like you didn't see that so much because things may have been more covert. So there's a sense of you needing to all get on the same page and be like, even if I don't actively see them do something, if I already know this is an unhealthy situation, I need to pay attention to that. Also, to see the Pisces energy here with the Five of Swords, this is like, this is not your time to be the hero. This is not your time to be the martyr. This is about you standing like within your boundaries and having the self-respect to not put yourself back into a situation that you recognize as being unhealthy for you. It's like, sometimes also it helps us when we think about, like, if you see yourself, separate yourself from yourself right now and see that as one of your best friends. Would you tell them to go back into this situation? Like, and then take your own advice? Because sometimes it helps us to kind of break away in that way to see things more clearly. So in a way, you're being like your higher self to your 3D self. You know what I mean? This person may have some, like, Pluto in your 12th house, in your synastry, stuff like that. Or maybe some type of Neptune contact. This is about making the decision to step back out of something and to focus on you and yourself here. It's like, are we going to take the decision to take a break for this, or are we going to go for it? What's going to happen here? Again, this is somebody from your past. This is a cycle with someone from your past. So it seems like you're having the opportunity to redo a cycle with someone, or to be like, I'm wiping my hands clean of this and I'm not going to get on the merry-go-round again. The beautiful thing about this is that if you choose to get on the merry-go-round again, it's showing you that there's still something that you need to learn, to understand, to remember. And maybe the next retrograde, you won't do it again. But it's all about you giving yourself the opportunities that you need to learn what you need to learn, or to remember what you need to remember, however it is that you like to look at this. Because once we're done with certain cycles, we have learned the lessons that we need to learn, and we don't want to do it anymore. And there's a sense of picking up and learning what you needed to, learning everything that you needed to, and understanding too that everything has a purpose. Every choice we make leading us into the situations that we go into. And so this is also not about you over here judging yourself if you decide that you want to try things with this person again. It's just about you buckling up for the ride, no matter where you're going. For some of you, you could be waiting on this person to come back, too. You could have been waiting on this person to come back. For some of you, you're feeling like this is inevitable, like it's going to be happening, but you're not sure. But intuitively, you may be hoping. Yeah, so it feels like whoever this character is for you, this is about you taking all of the opportunities that you've had to learn everything that you've learned, and to process that and to integrate that into your life when it comes to the past experience that you had with this person. For some of you, there may be like more experiences that are needed for you to like grasp this completely. For others of you, this is not something that you're going to be revisiting. It's like you learned enough, you found out enough, and this is not something you're going to entertain. And there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong decision here. This is all about you and what you want to do and what you're going to experience because of that. So just let that be known too. But yeah, for a lot of you, it's like you've taken time away. You've had a break from this connection, no matter how long or short that has been, and you've had time to reflect, and now a decision needs to be made, and it's time for you to use your voice and call something out, make some sort of active decision where you're going to be engaging with another person. So it's like some type of conversation is going to be happening, and it feels like the decision is on you, so you get to control where this goes now and what you want to do about it. Seeing that communication come through. I'm looking at the Eight of Wands. Yeah. I'm seeing the communication come through from someone. They've been watching you, this person from the past. This is definitely someone you have history with, definitely someone you've been with before, regardless of like what the title was, what the label was of what was going on. This was somebody that like you both recognized you had some sort of chemistry, and then there was like the falling away or the breaking apart or like whatever happened in your specific situation. But I'm seeing them energetically be lingering here in your field again, thinking about coming through and communicating with you. Feels like a little trip down memory lane here, because it's like their communication is leading back into you reconnecting with the past here. And this does also feel like this reading is coming through for those of you that like haven't reconnected yet. It kind of feels like be prepared, you know? Because there's even a sense of you like still going back and forth with this person, or like even rolling this around in your head, like considering this and being like, would I get back together with them? Would I not? Like thinking about this dynamic, wondering if it can be stable with this person, wondering if this time things will work out in the ways that you want it to. It feels like this is all in karma's hand, like the way that this is meant to be working out too. And that's where the unknown comes from. There's nothing like assured here where it's like, yeah, it's definitely going to work out, or it's definitely not going to work out. It's all going to depend on you and where you've gotten to, where that other person has gotten to. Because the thing is, as well, with relationships, it's like you can have every intention to be with someone and to work through everything, but if they're not on the same page, it's still not going to work out. So this is the thing as well. We always have to understand that the other person is also a variable in how the outcome turns out too. And that's also something that we have to accept as well, because I know there are many people here that can relate to that feeling of like when you're with someone and you care for them and you feel like you've been in a place where you're walking on eggshells and you're like, if I do everything right, things are going to work out with this person, or like if only I didn't do that, things would have worked out. It's not like that. So this is about you also leveling with yourself in that way and understanding that if you're with somebody that's willing to hold space, that's willing to be present, that's willing to work on things, the less conditional that relationship is. And when you're with someone in an unhealthy dynamic, that's when you start walking on eggshells because of the conditions put on it. It's like this person doesn't want to be with you unless you act exactly how they want you to act. And this is something that we need to reflect on too. It's like, what expectations are we holding of ourselves? What's being expected of us? Is this a position that we feel like is healthy? Is this dynamic healthy? Is it worth like having that relationship with that person? Does that mean that it's codependent if I'm willing to put up with things that I think are unhealthy just to have the dynamic with this person? Is that how I want to be treated? Is that how I would want one of my friends to be treated? Would I give them the same advice? Am I following my own advice? All of these things we ask ourselves. Feels like there's a lot going on here internally. And there's a sense of like wanting to work all of this through too. Know also that you don't need to be pressured into making a decision until you feel ready to make a decision. Like, because you can have someone around you being like, I need an answer by 12 o'clock tomorrow. And if you don't have an answer by then, don't feel pressured to give them an answer. You have to work through your own process. And it's also okay to say, I don't know. Because most of the time we don't know. And that's okay. Alright, so I was kind of waiting for this to come through because this has been like a very big theme that I have been seeing, especially with the downloads I've been getting. So we're ending here with the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. So what I want to get into, because as we're ending this spread with the little Knight of Wands over here, and we're beginning it with Saturn, with the World here, I will say this. If you reconnect with somebody, sometimes if we physically rush into things, we negate other things. We negate red flags that we would have otherwise seen. This feels very much like if you are going to choose to re-engage with someone, the advice is to not physically rush into it. Do not impulsively rush into it. Maybe don't see them face to face if you can help it. This is about you giving yourself the time that you need to think things through. And also pay attention to if someone's coming through and like within the first little bit of you guys talking, like when you're getting reacquainted with one another, they are pushing to see you or pushing to have something physical with you, or that's where they're going. If you say, you know what, I'm not ready for that yet, or I don't feel comfortable with that, wait and see their response. Wait and see what's going on. Because it seems too like there is something really important here that needs to be learned when it comes to you and how you impulsively may jump into something. And impulsivity doesn't need to be like a so-called bad thing. This is about, and maybe you do want to get physical with them, and there's also no shame in that too. We all get to choose what's right for us. But this is about not choosing to connect in one way and then negating the other things that we need to pay attention to. And when we connect with people physically, it is a way to unify things, and sometimes we forget that there are components that are necessary, and that this can sway our judgment. And so it's really important for us to build steadily and not just fall back into old patterns and have the same things repeating themselves again. Because it seems like what is going to impact your stability and like what is being built towards is if you make the decision to allow a connection to be an impulsive one. And also the insight that you're going to gain if you don't initially jump in that way. And the Knight of Wands can be difficult to say no to. Like, the Knight of Wands is somebody very charming. It's somebody that we have chemistry with. It's somebody that we feel drawn to connecting with. It's someone passionate. It's someone romantic. It's someone playful. And so it's somebody that, like, we feel drawn to in that way. And that doesn't mean that you can't have that kind of connection with someone. It means that it's about making sure that we are covering all of the bases and not just focusing on one thing and then not seeing the other things that we need to see. I'm getting this as being so very important. I'm hearing like a lot of different things, but I feel like it's going to be very different for every person, and so I don't want to like harp on that too much. But yeah, in this spread, I'm looking at Saturn, Virgo, Gemini. Remember, we all have Saturn somewhere in our chart. We all have the house of Virgo. We all have Mercury. Also with Gemini here too. We all have the different areas. So as much as this can be someone, this can also be talking about you and your placements and like what's currently activated within your chart. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.